Okay, Hobbs, we have some cold weather out here today. It's nice and freezing. You see some snowflakes just drifting through the wind, landing on the asphalt, getting stuck, and we're not really having anything stick. But we do want to share some tips with you that are good for this type of weather and more from our own Criminal Investigations Division over here at the Hobbs Police Department. I have two of our detectives as well as their supervisor. We have Chad Wright and we have Ahmad. If everyone can go through and introduce themselves, we're gonna give you some, like we said, some tips for both during cold weather, how to protect your vehicles, and then how to stay safe yourself with you and your loved ones.
Hello, I'm Captain Chad Wright.
I'm Detective Sergeant Ahmad White.
Hello, I'm Detective Viguri.
All right, so we have these three individuals. They handle things, I mean, just as recently as last night, they're out here fighting crime for you all to keep you safe, protect and serve, and ensure that your property is where you left it, or that if it's not, they help you find it. And then, so to give you those tips to make sure that you don't lose that property, we can start with Captain Wright.
Well, Megan, a lot of crime as far as vehicle thefts and stolen trailers are really on the rise. So we need your help to stop preventing some of that crime. And we've got some tips and we've got some things that you can do to help protect your vehicle. Matter of fact, my buddy just posted that his vehicle got stolen in Texas while they were at a hospital appointment. But last night, our patrol officers and our detectives did a great job. We located a stolen vehicle and we were able to apprehend and arrest a suspect. So, like we're arresting them just as fast as we can. So, if you're out there and you're breaking the law and you're stealing things, expect to see us. So, but as far as stolen vehicles go, I'm going to turn it over to Sergeant White, and he's going to talk about a little bit about stolen vehicles.
Okay, well, primarily with stolen vehicles, it's on a major rise, as Captain Wright explained. And the primary thing that we're trying to get out to the community is to secure your vehicles. It doesn't matter if they're at home. Don't leave spare keys inside of them, valuables, purses, wallets, firearms especially, because that also makes a big rise in stolen firearms when they get inside of your car.
Especially where they can see it.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and I mean, people that are burglarizing these cars, they don't really care what kind of car you drive, they're checking all of them. And these guys are actually moving in teams. That's something that we've learned over time now. But the biggest thing is it is cold outside. People are starting their cars to let them warm up, and then they're leaving the vehicle unsecured. Some of them are locking them, but the only thing that's keeping that person out of that car is a sheet of glass.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter to them. Next thing you know, we're taking a report for a stolen vehicle.
Yep.
So with that being said, if you're going to warm up your vehicle, I know it's kind of tough to do in this season, but be in the vehicle. And if you see something, say something. If you see people walking around checking door handles or moving in these packs odd hours of the night and they're going up in people's driveways and looking through their windows,
Or
give us
through
a
a
call.
parking lot somewhere like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I can't stress to you enough, do not approach them for your safety. Do not approach them. Some of these individuals have been apprehended and they're armed with guns that they've stolen from other people's vehicles. So do not approach them, call the police.
Sergeant White mentioned that they're working in teams. They're driving around looking for cars that they can see the exhaust and see it running. Then they're unloading one of their buddies, basically the car thief. Then they're driving down the road while they steal that car. So people driving really slow and acting suspicious, please give us a call so we can check those things out.
Yeah, so if you see a vehicle you don't recognize in your neighborhood and they seem to be very careful to look at vehicles and maybe even go up into the driveway and check them out. If they are paying more attention to the ones who you can see the exhaust running, as was already stated, then make sure that you do make that call. Just call in, you'll get a couple officers sent out, they'll check out the area and ensure that whether there is or not a threat. And I've had to do that myself before in a parking lot actually. And so, and it turned out that same individual, he'd actually been called on several times, and you already knew where he lived. You knew as soon as I had described him, they knew where his home was. So that was a repeat offender. But any more tips when it comes to warming up your vehicles or kind of ensuring that safety? I mean, your property, if you have to keep something in your vehicle, put it where people can't see it.
Of course, the criminals usually always have the upper hand, so it's really hard to warm your vehicle up and then be inside at the same time. But find unique ways, watch your vehicle, If you're, have someone watching it while it's warming up. That way, if you start seeing these people, you can maybe call us or do whatever you need to do to stop somebody from stealing your car.
Yes, yes. Okay, so that's really good. Those are really good tips. So remember, if you can, take all your valuables out of your vehicle. Do not leave purses, expensive items, the firearms, any of that. And if you have to, because of some kind of unique circumstance, make sure that you put it where the thief cannot see it. It is that easy just to break glass and grab it off your front seat or off your floorboard and take off with your valuables. So make sure that you are protecting those things as much as you possibly can, so you don't have to see one of these individuals and get a visit from them. So now where we're sitting right now, what is this location exactly, this room? What do you all usually use this for? This is kind of a little bit behind the scenes for everyone watching this on Facebook.
This is the police department classroom. So we have all kinds of different trainings and things for the officers. Recently, we held a COVID vaccination session. That was yesterday. So our Citizens Police Academy is held in here.
Where you receive more tips and find out more knowledge.
That's right. So there's a lot of things that happen in here, and we are truly, truly blessed in our city to have the facilities that we do and the community that supports that. So we're super, super blessed versus other departments in the country.
Yes, definitely.
And I would just like to add that almost every day we're receiving a call about a stolen trailer, stolen vehicles, stolen property.
Yep.
So just try to also keep in mind that you want to secure your property as best as possible. Maybe park in a well-lit area. Lock your vehicles.
Yes.
Something as simple as that.
Yeah.
Something that has also been brought to our attention is we're having these random people knocking on doors in neighborhoods, offering their services. Hey, can we mow your lawn, pick up trash? But what they're really doing is they're just trying to, canvass your home to see what's accessible to them on your property. So if you don't know these people,
And
don't
they
even
get you to trust them, so you
Right.
don't see that as weird, yeah.
Right. Don't even open your door. If you didn't call someone to your home, don't open your door. But do yourself a favor, do your neighbor a favor, and give us a call. Get an officer out there to identify this person and hopefully deter their action into trying to steal something from you or your neighbor.
Yeah, and then, even if that person, say they are someone who is guilty and your instincts are correct, as someone who watches this video, they follow your advice, and so an officer does come out to contact that person, they actually might end up finding stolen property, recognized stolen property on that individual right then and there. And so you could actually help this division to solve a crime of someone who is your neighbor or someone you may or may not know, but a community member here in Hobbs-Lee County. And now, with trailers being stolen, can you kind of go into that a little bit? Because you can just back up to a trailer that people don't think very often, like, oh, who's going to steal my trailer? There's not, you know what I mean? Or even just putting a lock on there, it's so easy to cut it and still take off with that trailer. Any tips on keeping those safe? Maybe a safe location to put them in? I know you guys have had some issues with fences have even been taken down to get to a trailer. So anything on that?
Right. Again, I would just add parking in a well-lit area, parking it where, there's somebody going to be on that property pretty much throughout the whole day.
Yeah.
Also getting some video surveillance, also knowing
Good
how
tip.
to work
Yeah.
the video
That's
surveillance.
Make sure that it's on.
Make sure it's good quality. That's very, very helpful. And unfortunately, a lot of homeowners or business owners have these cameras up, but they either don't know how to access them or they're just so old that the video is just really, really poor condition and very grainy, and it isn't much use to us.
Or it's facing the wrong direction where your property isn't even sitting.
Be aware that it's going to be pointing in the direction of your property. And also some of our hotspots here in town have been showing in between, Sanger and Marlin, and also in between Bender and Navajo.
Okay.
Those are our hotspots where trailers have been stolen here recently.
Okay.
But having that said, just because you don't live in that area or really travel in that area doesn't mean that you can't fall victim.
Yeah.
So it's always just a good idea to be safe, be smart, lock your items, secure them as best as you can. Take your purses, take your guns, just don't leave it. If it's something you possess and you don't want to lose it or have it stolen, take it with you.
Yeah, definitely. And even if you leave a trailer, a lot of people think that their company's yard is going to be better protected or a safer area than their own personal property. But you all have actually had vehicles, even trailers, stolen off of company lots.
Absolutely. And in addition to what Detective Aguirre is saying, if you do happen to be a victim to a stolen vehicle, or somebody got into your car and burglarized it. The biggest thing I can tell you right now from the investigation standpoint is do not rummage through it. All right, we
Don't
do our
touch
best.
anything.
Exactly,
Okay.
we do our best to try to go off of leads. We want DNA, we want fingerprints, and we don't want the cross-contamination of the victim or anybody else going through there trying to verify what's been stolen. Once we get there and we began our process, we're processing the vehicle in the scene, then we'll get into exactly what's missing. And then we can go through there and safely do that without destroying our evidence. So you see a trail of things leading from your property or the neighbor's property, just don't touch them. Go ahead and give us a call and let us do that.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Yes.
You know, help us by not touching anything.
Yeah.
Just give us a call.
Exactly, yeah, those are really good points, because a lot of people don't think of that, and they wanna go through and make sure that what is or is not there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for
Well,
sure.
You just realize that you've been victimized and traumatized, so you're not really thinking like
Yeah.
to that next step on
Yeah.
how can I help now successfully prosecute, a thief. So, but just those are things to think about. If you think that your vehicle's been broken into, just stop, give us a call.
Yeah, even if you think your firearm's missing, try to stay calm and make sure to follow the steps that you have from the Criminal Investigations Division. Now, are there any last tips or reminders you would like to give anyone? Whether vehicles, property, or even cold weather tips?
If you have any questions, please contact us. I mean, we're very, very engaged with the community, especially during non-COVID times, and when we miss some of the events that we do and that time to interact with the community. But be safe. It's going to get really cold, so make
Yes.
those preparations. If you need assistance, need help, there's a lot of programs out there, and a lot of assistance in this community. We're very blessed. So if you got any questions, just let us know.
Yep. And we will post the non-emergency number to the Hobbs Police Department in the comment section of this video. And then also there will be a press release on the latest case solved by the Criminal Investigations Division. It'll be posted to the Hobbs Police Department page just in a little bit later on today, possibly with some photos, but you can get to find out the details about that, how that crime was solved, and the great efforts that these individuals are putting in to make sure that your property is recovered and that you are safe. So
Megan, the
yes.
only thing I wanted to add is that we work in connection with our patrol division. So our
Mhm.
patrol division usually has things way taken care of by the time we get involved. So
Now explain for
they
sure
have-
that people watching, that they understand what patrol is different from you guys.
So the uniformed officers that are responding to the calls, they
Yep.
respond to all the initial calls, and then once further investigation needs to occur, then the detective is brought in because it's time consuming. The patrol guys have to go back out to more calls. So we do the lengthy investigations and some of the things that take a lot of time. But I just want to make sure that like our patrol guys, they're out there and gals every night. I mean, this latest one happened at 3 o'clock in the morning, and we apprehended them 3 o'clock the next morning.
Mhm.
So at 3 o'clock in the morning, these guys and gals are out there doing everything they can to make you safe.
Yep, exactly. So it's a team effort. Again, head to the Hobbs Police Department page to get more tips and to stay up to date on all the occurrences they have going on. And if you ever have any questions, shoot them a message on Facebook, shoot us a message here on the city's page. And again, we will post their non-emergency phone number in the comments of this video. Thank you all. Stay warm and safe.